Hello everyone, welcome back to Level Headed. I'm not gonna lie, I'm coming to you guys a little bit sleepy today. I've had a week and it's been a beautiful week with a lot of opportunities. I opened my show. It's a Rajiv Joseph play called Horoscope, and I am the first person to ever play this character. How cool is that? It's been incredible, but of course, with all of that, plus full-time school, plus work, you get a little tired. Also, if you keep seeing me look at my phone, I'm not ignoring you, I just have notes. Anyway, today I have some news to break to you. I've actually been sitting on this episode idea for a while. You guys need to hear this, okay? Because it actually changed my life. Think of me as a friend that's gonna tell you the brutal, honest truth, but in a supportive way, okay? Because I'm not here to shame or judge anyone, but also I'm not gonna sugarcoat things. Because listen, I'm no better than anyone. If you're thinking like, who are you to give all this advice? Everything that I talk about here, I learned it mostly the hard way, okay? Or I've learned it through things that I had to experience. I've had my own epiphanies around it. I'm not sitting here pretending that I'm better than everyone, giving you guys advice and telling you what to do. I'm just here sharing my experience, things that I've messed up and how I've messed up, how I've made things better, what I've learned from these situations. So either you don't have to go through them or learn something or entertain yourself a little bit with this video. It's all out of love. Today, I'm going to explain how you control who you attract. I feel like this is something that we think is so out of control, like the people that we attract into our life. And this is gonna like piggyback a little bit off of what I was talking about last episode, because I was talking about how the people that you spend time with determine the person that you become and how to pick your friends wisely so that you can be the most successful version of yourself, whatever that means to you. But today I'm going to talk about it a little bit more from a lens of a relationship, and everything that I'm going to say here goes for friendships, because the other one that I did was more friendship focused. I want this one to be a little bit more relationship focused, and I got the idea to make this video from watching somebody get relationship advice. I think it was Matthew Hussey, but is that his name? That sounds like wrong. It was like this relationship advice guy. I saw this like literally on a clip on Instagram Reels of this relationship advice guy who was asked what is like the best relationship advice that you have ever received, and what he said blew my mind, okay? And I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I'm probably gonna butcher it when I say it right now, but I'm gonna tell you guys what it is, because this whole video is based on that one thing. Like, I heard that and I was like, holy shit, this is genius. I'm immediately gonna start implementing it. And also, I need to make a video about this because the people that watch me need to know. This is like actually the best advice for anything in life, not even for relationships, because I learned it through a relationship lens. That is the way I'm gonna explain it here. But just know, you can use this for friendships, you can use this for jobs, you can use this to like manifest anything that you want. He said that the best relationship advice he ever got was somebody's telling him, think of the most ideal person that you could be with. You can be as picky as you want. You can think of every single characteristic, hobbies, how much money they have, what they like, what they dislike, their habits, all these things. Think of like the ideal perfect person for you. Create this person in your head and then become that person. Listen, I'm not saying this like hatefully. I'm saying this from love. The amount of times that I've heard women, this does not only pertain to women, but because I spend more time around women, I hear it more from women, but I know men do the exact same thing. The amount of people, let's just say, that I hear complaining about, oh my God, all men are this, or all women are this, or I just want a man who can do this, this, and that. I just want a woman who is like this, this, and that. All of these complaints and, oh, poor me, I can't find a nice, good person that fits my standard. And you know, sometimes you see somebody complaining about that and you're like, have you looked in the mirror? Like, not even appearance-wise, just like the person you are. Nobody has issues thinking about what they deserve and this ideal person and this like perfect person that they just deserve to walk into their life and sweep them off their feet. But nobody ever thinks, would that kind of person be attracted to me? And if they do, I also hear a lot of people get discouraged by that. I hear a lot of people complaining they just don't like the girls like me. They just don't like guys like me. It's like that whole nice guy bullshit that we all know about. And girls do the same thing, like, oh, guys don't like girls like me that are da 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 da. Listen, I'm so sorry. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares, because you get to decide the person that you are. You get to decide how you present yourself in this world. You get to decide the outfits that you wear. You get to decide the effort that you put into yourself. You get to decide the places where you get to spend time. You get to decide those things. So nobody is going to feel sad for you when you're complaining about other people not liking you, or the people that you want to like you not liking you. And listen, that sucks. But guess what? Lucky you found this video, and I'm going to explain to you how it is fully under your own control. This whole thing about like imagine the ideal person and then become that person is a nice way essentially of saying you're the problem. And I'm going to help you fix that today. I also want to say, while it might be scary to think that you are the problem, I'm going to give you a reframe that's going to help you. Instead of getting angry and frustrated, think it's a good thing that it's your problem, because it means that you have control over it. If it was just how it was, if it was somebody else's fault, there would be nothing that you could do to fix it, to change it, to control it. So when I say you're the problem, I'm not saying that to shame you or to make you feel bad about yourself. I'm saying it for you to realize you have control over this. You get to decide the type of people that are going to be attracted to you. You get to decide the kind of person that you are going to be in this world. You get to decide that. Nobody else does. Let's all adopt the reframe and the mindset that when something is your problem, that means that you have control over it, and that is a good thing. That means that you get to change it. You get to control it. You get to manipulate it. So I'm going to teach you guys how to do that today. I say all this because like I learned this stuff the hard way. I was in your position. I have blamed other external factors or the world for the fact that I wasn't attracting the right people. There was a phase where I was really attracting toxic people. Romantic, not so much. Thank God. But friendships, yeah, I was. And I had to realize at some point, what is the common denominator here? Me. And like objectively, while all these people were treating me really poorly or doing really bad things to me, I had to notice like, wait, how did I not see any of that coming earlier on? I was the one ignoring a ton of other signs, and I was letting people treat me a certain way for a long enough period of time just because I wouldn't be like super offended by something. I would let them do it. And I realize now, guess who the problem was? Me. And I'm not blaming myself for it, but I'm looking back, learning from it, and changing my ways now. My standards are going to be different now because I looked at some friendships that I had and I was like, oh my God, how did I not see that coming? Instead of going, oh my God, poor me. Why me? The worst people find me. I'm so unlucky. Instead of thinking all those things, I said, okay, clearly I'm not good at picking friends. For a minute there, I was like, what the hell is going on? I used it as an opportunity to really dissect all of that, see what I was doing wrong, see where I played a part in this, where I allowed this to get to this point, took ownership, took responsibility, forgave myself, gave myself sympathy, because at the time, like a lot of us, we don't realize that we're doing this, but also used it as an opportunity to realize that I made mistakes as well. And all that to say, when I'm saying that you were the problem, I'm not trying to be demeaning or mean. I was the problem too, okay? And that's how I learned all of this, and I was my own guinea pig with this in multiple situations in my life. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be open and honest about those experiences as well. So don't think that I'm sitting here like thinking that I'm better than anyone. I'm not. I learned this the hard way, and I'm trying to help you not have to learn it the hard way too. When you're blaming a ton of external factors on the way that your life is right now, what you are doing essentially is giving all of those things power. You are saying this thing controls me. And what I'm going to teach you in this video is to take that power back, frame it as something empowering, the fact that you get to control this part of your life and how you can make the changes that you want to make based on the life you want to live, okay? I'm not interested in telling anyone how to live their life. I'm interested in giving you guys the tools so that you guys have the ability to make the best decisions for yourself in life. I'm so paranoid about the sound, guys. What you can control is you, yourself, how you present yourself, how you act, the energy you put out, and that, my friends, is all you need. If you're already getting defensive about what I'm saying, this might just not be the right time for you to watch this video. You might not be at the place yet to reflect and to look inward and to be self-aware. This might not be the video for you, and then I would recommend watching some of my other ones. Like my confidence one is a great beginner video, because confidence ultimately is like the basis for everything. So I'll link that here. But for those of you who are intrigued with what I have to say, stay tuned and let me explain to you how you actually have full control over the people that you attract and how you can do that today. First step to all of this are standards. Guys, I'm gonna simplify this so much for you today. You're not gonna believe it was actually this fucking simple, and I only recently, like really recently, fully understood it. Listen, I always had standards, but like there's so many mixed signals in the world now with social media. Everyone is saying something different about what your standards should be, what it shouldn't be. Everyone has a different opinion on what the right standards are. And the thing is, not all standards have to be the same, but I'm gonna explain to you what determines your standard. I feel like I get a lot of my standards from like my mother, things that my mother taught me, the women around me. So I always felt like I did have a high standard. I'm lucky, but I was just copying what I grew up with. You know what I mean? I didn't know what my standards were based on, and now I finally understand it, and it's so much better because now I can make full decisions for myself without having to consult anyone or ask anyone's opinion on what they think is right and what they think is wrong. Should I tolerate this? Should I not tolerate that? It doesn't matter what other people think. Only you know what your standard is, and your standard essentially is how much you value yourself and the ways that you value yourself. It sounds so obvious, right? But I think people don't understand how correlated it really is, and how everything that you do to yourself affects the way other people are going to treat you in every sense. So if you're thinking, oh my God, why do all guys treat me like shit? Why do all men treat me like this and treat me like that and say these things and do these things to me? I'm not telling you to blame yourself, but I'm telling you to look inwards and see really what you think of yourself and what you think you deserve and how you treat yourself. If you're constantly calling yourself stupid and an idiot and dumb, when somebody else does it, it's not going to be that big of a shock. If you don't give yourself the time you need to rest, if you don't give yourself grace, if you don't give yourself love, when other people don't do it, it's not going to be that shocking to you. And also, people aren't going to want to do it because you don't even do it for yourself. If you don't even have that standard for yourself, why should anybody else have it for you? Let me give you some general rules about standards, especially as a woman. I think there's just like some misconceptions. I think some women here, you have it all wrong. And obviously everywhere there's women like this, but I've just seen it more here. I find it sometimes to be a little bit, this is just my opinion, materialistic, the way women view standards here. It's like a standard is, if he buys me this, that, then I'll go on a date with him. Then if he spends this much money, I'll go on a date with him. If he buys me this, I'll do this with him. And I'm like, that's prostitution. So let me just start there actually. Firstly, you are worth so much more than anything that a man could buy or pay for or anything, okay? You're worth a lot more than an expensive dinner. You're worth a lot more than an expensive bottle of wine. You're worth a lot more than any gift or experience that anyone could buy for you, okay? Because you are a human person. You are a human person. And you cannot equate, I mean, you can do whatever you want, but then let's call it what it is. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. No judgment. Like genuinely, I'm not judging. I'm just saying that's something different. Okay. That kind of exchange is a little bit different from what I'm going to be talking about here. You are worth more than anything that a man can buy you. Okay. What sets your standard, and of course you can really like enjoy those things, and those things could be important for you, and that's okay. Maybe you're going to be compatible with someone who's going to want to buy all those things for you. That's their way of showing their love. That's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But to think that it's an exchange, like I will only do this thing, because I see that a lot in American women. I'm going to text him to go on a date just so I can get free dinner. Women who like talk to people on Tinder just to get like free dinner. What? Time and energy that you are spending on someone should be worth a lot more than a fucking dinner. I'm sorry. Like, you are worth more than that. And if you don't see yourself as worth more than that, then forget the free dinner. You need to start working on yourself. You need to start working on the person that you are. Realize that not everyone can just have access to you that easily. Going out to dinner with you should be a privilege. If you don't see it that way, nobody else will. Hey, and that doesn't mean that you can't find a man that's going to buy you gifts all the time. If that's what you want, if that is your love language, you can totally find a man that's going to do that. But I'm saying don't be with a man just because they are buying you things and paying for things. Like, no, that can be an extra. I'm going to tell you how to get that if that's what you want. Another basic rule about standards. You can have your own rules, right? I don't have like rules in my head for when I do what, but also because I grew up with women with high standards around me, I think I'm like more intuitive with this kind of stuff. But one thing that I want to explain to you, if you have standards, you don't have to be telling everyone because standards speak for themselves, okay? So if you're going around telling people, I only do this thing after 5 dates. Girl, I don't have these kind of like rigid, I only will let him touch my arm after he pays this much money for dinner. Like, I don't have those kind of things. I'm a little bit more intuitive with it. But if you do have any of those rules, what I'm telling you to do, and like, no, this is not optional. You have to do it. You are not allowed to tell him. You are not allowed to tell people, listen. Standards speak for themselves. If you actually have standards, you don't have to be going around. Oh my God, my camera. If you actually have standards, you don't have to be going around telling everybody what your standards are, that you have high standards, that my standards, blah, blah, blah. Standards speak for themselves. So if you have some type of rule where it's like, I will only do X, Y, and Z after we've gone on this many dates, don't tell him that. Number one, you're either making it extremely easy because you're giving him a literal roadmap to get whatever it is that he wants. You're not actually testing if this person cares about you. Number two, you're making it rigid for yourself. You're limiting yourself because if you decide for some reason this person is so amazing and you just want to break one of these rules, now this person knows that you literally went against your own word and your own standards just for this person. It shows that you are already putting this random person over yourself, over your own word. Unacceptable. If you have these standards, they speak for themselves. You don't have to go around explaining them to every person that comes your way because no one's gonna believe it. Okay, so now I've given you guys some general things, but now I want to get specific about how you are gonna attract the exact person that you want. Think again, how do you like to get treated? Do you want someone who's gonna be taking you on shopping sprees? Do you want someone who's gonna be showering you with love? Do you want someone who's gonna get you incredible experiences? Do you want someone who is gonna write you love letters? Do you want someone who's gonna go on hikes with you? Do you want someone who buys you flowers every week? Do you want someone who gives you all the love in the world? Beautiful, wonderful. Now figure out how to do that for yourself. That's the secret. Going off of the logic that the way you treat yourself informs how you allow other people to treat you. If you are providing all of these things for yourself, you are naturally going to attract someone who sees that and wants to make you happy and sees everything you're doing and also starts providing those things for you. If you want someone who's going to take you on shopping sprees, be able to take yourself on shopping sprees. Have the ability to do that for yourself. Say, you know what? I deserve a shopping spree. I'm going to do that. If you want someone who is super athletic, right? Become super athletic yourself. Then start living that life. If you want someone who is gonna buy you flowers all the time, girl, buy yourself flowers all the time. And I swear to you, it's not only like a literal thing where people see, like literally see the things that you do for yourself, but also I swear to God, it has an energetic effect on you. And I'm gonna give you an example right now. I'm not big on flowers, and though I do get the occasional flower here and there from my boyfriend, what I am into are oils and face masks and skincare. And when he gets me a gift, you best believe that is the first thing he's getting me because he sees me getting those things for myself. So when he wants to do something for me that's special, he knows what to pick because I've, not by telling him anything, but just by existing and doing those things for myself, I was an example to how I like to be treated on a much deeper and more like energetic level. A couple months ago, I was told that I have a wounded feminine, which I was very resistant to at first. I talk about this in the Nina episode a bit too. I was told that I have a wounded feminine and that I need to be more gentle with myself and I need to take more care of myself and pamper myself more. And I was thinking, that's so weird. I'm so feminine. What do you mean I'm not feminine? I was like, do I have to wear skirts? Like, I didn't understand the point, because I do all those things. I do my skincare. I do all the pampering stuff, but I noticed that I don't do it gently and enjoying it. I do it like I'm like aggressive and I'm fast and I'm just like trying to get it over with. So I've been really the past couple months making a big effort to taking my time, slow down, enjoy things. When I do my skincare, I do it like enjoying putting it on. I put on my heater, I put on my lotion, I put on a homemade body oil that I make. I've been pampering myself. And if you don't want to spend money, like a lot of my examples are like gifts and stuff, it doesn't have to be that. My favorite thing to do is like to go on a long 2-hour walk in Central Park, come back, take a long shower, put lotion and then like my homemade oil all over my body, and then just like marinate in it, do a little massage on myself. I've started to really pamper myself, put a little bit of perfume on, even if I'm going to go to bed, even if I'm not going to see anyone. I do it for myself, and I started doing it slowly and really enjoying every second of it. And I swear to God, I had no intention of like making my boyfriend act any differently, but I swear to God, since I started implementing these things, I don't know if it's because my energy has gotten softer. I don't know if it's because I've gotten softer with myself. I've naturally gotten softer with him. But when I go there, he doesn't even let me take my coat off by myself. He's taking my shoes off for me. He's taking my coat off for me. He's carrying me to the couch, which is literally like 3 steps away from the door. It's almost like he can sense that my energy changed. And I never told him, hey, I have a wounded feminine, so you better start taking my shoes off for me, because I can't do that anymore. No. And it just naturally started occurring where he treats me with like even more care and gentleness and love than he did before. And I never even thought that me pampering myself was gonna affect him, but it did. And he didn't see me doing all this pampering stuff either. And it's not like he sees me doing all these extra steps and taking my time, or maybe he does, I don't know, but like it's like an energetic thing. It's I think it genuinely, the way you treat yourself, it changes you. Also, and this is just a side note, but you know that theory that people say like, oh, you always find the right person when you're not looking? I think this is what it originates from, because it means if you can already do all those things for yourself, then you're already satisfied. I think it's hard to find the right person if you're lacking something. If you're like, I want to date someone so that they can pay for all my stuff. Or if you're like, I want to date someone so that I'm not lonely all the time. Or I want to date someone so that I can be happy. You're lacking very big and important things. And if you're seeking people only to achieve that thing, you're going to be blinded. You're going to let people treat you in ways that they shouldn't be treating you. However, when you already have all those things, I'm going to be real. Like, I don't need somebody to be paying for my stuff. I don't need a boyfriend to feel loved. I have a great support system. I don't need a boyfriend to feel happy. And when I met my boyfriend, I was in that phase of like, I don't want anything. I don't need anything. And so was he. And I don't think it's a coincidence that you meet the right people when you are already satisfied with who you are yourself. And then all the other things that he does, all the extra things, when he takes me out to dinner, when he leaves me a little note here and there, all those things are so special and I cherish them. And it's also extra fun because I don't depend on them. And also, I'm just saying, if you did depend on them, if I could only go out to eat when he took me out to eat, I'd be very anxious for him to always take me out to eat, right? I'd be like, why can't we go here? Why can't we go there? If he didn't go out to eat with me, I'd be like freaking out. That puts restraint on him, on me. It makes us miserable and it makes me dependent. And you can't have a healthy and happy relationship if you are dependent on the person for something. And also, this is my limited experience with dating. I'm not married. I don't have kids. Like, none of that. Obviously, I don't have those big responsibilities. So everything I'm saying is from like my limited lens of only being a girlfriend. And also that way, it's fun for him to take me out to dinner because I'm not nagging him to do it. We do it for fun because it's fun. He likes going out to eat dinner and he likes to take me with him because we enjoy each other's company. It's just fun. It's not like you have to do this and you have to do that. And on the contrary, I'm going to expose myself. When I was in a phase where I was not feeling good about myself, I was not confident. I did not have a lot of self-respect, and like I thought I did. at the time, but like looking back, I totally didn't. I was attracting all the wrong people, the wrong friends, the wrong men, like some weird ass guys. I got myself in some shady situations. Like there was no need. And I don't blame myself because we only do the best that we can do in every moment of our lives. You know what I mean? When you made some horrible mistake, most likely you didn't know any better. You thought that you were doing the best thing for yourself. Like at least for me, I didn't think I was making some huge mistake, or I didn't think I was doing anything super irresponsible. I just thought, I didn't think it was that deep. But now looking back, I'm like, no, I was not treating myself nicely. I blamed everything on myself. I called myself all these horrible names. I wasn't treating my body nicely. I didn't like how I looked, so I was like working out like crazy and like restricting what I was eating like crazy, but then binging because obviously I was hungry, and just like hating myself. And it was a cycle of like, obviously if I'm hating myself so much, if I'm treating myself so horribly, other people think that it's okay to treat me like that as well, because that's the standard that I'm setting. And it's that simple. Your standard is the way that you treat yourself. If you are doing all these things for you, you're going to find somebody that's going to want to do all these things for you as well. If you're not doing any of these things for you, if you're not someone who can accept help, you're not going to get somebody who's going to want to help you. That's why it's easy to dream of this like incredible, perfect person. But then when it comes to actually like, would you accept help from this person? Would you let this person do all those nice things to you? You don't even do them for yourself. You wouldn't. You would freak out. You wouldn't know what to do. So for you to get to that point, to be able to accept the kind of love that you want, to be able to accept the kind of care and attention and everything that you want, you have to prime yourself by doing them for yourself first. I write myself letters, guys. I do. I talk to myself and I say like very loving things to myself because I deserve it. I'll be like, you know, you killed it today. That was so hard and you killed it. You proved to yourself that you can do this thing. You're awesome. I speak to myself like that sometimes. And then sometimes I'll be like, okay, this didn't work out and you should have understood that there, but you didn't, and it's okay. Let's see what we're going to do tomorrow. If I speak to myself like that, do you think if somebody comes in my life and just like doesn't support me in anything that I do, I'm going to tolerate it? I'm going to think that's so fucking weird and I'm not going to talk to that person. And that person is probably not going to want to be friends with me anyway because clearly our vibes wouldn't match. So this actually very conveniently brings me to my next point. Sometimes when I try to explain standards to people, again, something that I've experienced in America, but funny enough, not with an American. When I've tried to explain standards to some people, I've gotten the response of like, I'm not like you. I don't need everybody to be in love with me, which I found so interesting because if anything, what I'm teaching you right now and everything that I'm telling you to do right now, it's going to do the opposite. It's not going to make everybody fall in love with you. If anything, it's going to really limit the amount of people that are actually going to fit the standard to be in your life. You're essentially making people go through a filter. If you don't have any standards, if you treat yourself like shit, you're mean to yourself, you don't take care of yourself, you don't treat your body, your soul, your emotions with love, kindness, and respect, which means you don't expect anyone else to do those things for you, girl, anyone could be around you. It doesn't matter. You're open. Like your standards are low. Nobody has to earn being near you. However, if you do have certain standards, if there are certain things that you just don't tolerate because you would never treat yourself that way, so why would you let somebody else treat you that way? You are naturally gonna really limit the amount of people that are gonna go after you and go after you consistently. You know what I mean? Because like a lot of guys will just shoot their shot, but they won't actually shoot their shot. They'll just like half-ass shoot their shot, and if you're not like then they'll go away. They'll take it as a rejection and go away. This isn't about manipulating and tricking people into falling in love with you or liking you. It does the opposite. If anything, it highly limits the people that are actually going to put the effort into pursuing you because, again, it takes effort. It takes time, effort, energy, attention, because that's the standard. That's what you give for yourself. So that's what you expect. And a lot of the time that energy translates. So if somebody's easy, more people are going to approach. And if they're not, it's common that more people are going to be scared, intimidated, just not going to like them enough to do all of that. You know what I mean? And that is a good thing. if you have standards, because you're not wasting your time with people who don't actually like you that much. You're not wasting your time with people who don't actually care that much. You know, you really get to see people's true intentions with you. They come out faster because the way you treat yourself is up here. And if they're barely passing here, you're not even going to notice it. It's only once they start matching you where you start noticing it. So if anything, it really limits the amount of people that are actually going to pursue you, which is a weirdly common misconception. Like, I don't know why people think that this is like how to trick everybody into falling in love with you. Why would you want that? Not everyone is at your level. Not everyone is at your standard. So why would you want everybody to be in love with you? Because listen, it takes work to be you. It takes work to look like you. It takes work to have the confidence and the self-respect and the self-love that you have, which means that it takes work for somebody to want to be in your life. And again, don't forget, if you have the standards, they speak for themselves. You don't have to go around telling people that you have standards. It goes against the point. But all I'm saying is, if you're raising the bar, there's less people that are going to be able to reach that bar. So if anything, this is severely limiting the amount of people that are actually going to pursue you, but the ones that do are already at a certain level. Somebody who's down here isn't going to go for somebody up here most of the time. While I am talking about this from a relationship lens, this is not just for a relationship, friendships too. When you treat yourself with the love and respect that you deserve, you are ensuring that everybody who enters your circle is willing to do the same. It ensures that the people that are trying to be part of your life care enough to be putting that effort in with you. Another example from the beginning of my relationship, one of the things that worked out so well, when my boyfriend first asked me out, I was doing a show, and the time that he was asking me out, I was performing, like I wasn't available. And then he tried to reschedule it, I wasn't available. And then he tried to reschedule it, I wasn't available. It wasn't because I didn't want to see him, it was because genuinely I had work, right? I had stuff to do, stuff that I really prioritized. So then when we finally did schedule a date, it was at 11 a.m. because he had work after. So from the very beginning, what I prioritized was very clear. What he prioritized was very clear. And like, let me expose myself right now. I liked him, but I had stuff to do. Imagine if I had sacrificed my rehearsals. Imagine if I had sacrificed my own work. Imagine if I had sacrificed doing those things just to be able to see him and just to be able to accommodate him. And then that would have become the standard of the relationship. So then when I'm missing all my things and I'm not getting the opportunities that I could have been getting, and he's prioritizing his work and he's getting all of his opportunities, I would be so hateful. I would have been harboring hate. I would have been angry. I would have been annoyed. And whose fault would that have been? Mine. That's why it is so important that you don't lower your standard for anyone else. He would never ask me to miss a rehearsal. He would never ask me to miss anything for any work. The same way that I would never ask him to sacrifice anything from his work for me. Because I understand when you care so much about what you do and you're so passionate and you want to do more and you want to do it at the best way that you could possibly do it and you want to be excellent at it, I understand that that takes an immense amount of time, energy, and sacrifice. And I want him to do that for himself. And I understand that because I want to do that for myself. If I didn't have that perspective, it would be so easy to get frustrated. And this is another thing. This is going to be an example, but I notice a lot of women will want somebody who's super hardworking, someone who has their shit together, but then they get annoyed if they're not getting text messages every 10 minutes. Which one do you want? That's why you're going to find people that are going to match your energy based on the way that you treat yourself. I'm telling you, if I had a ton of free time, if I always wanted to hang out with someone, this man would not be the man for me because he's always working. But if I'm starting classes at 9 and finishing my day at 11 because of rehearsals, we're on the same wavelength. I'm tired, he's tired, he understands, I understand. When we see each other, it's extra special. And I think that's why also the advice of become that person is extremely useful, because you'll notice that's maybe not your thing. Maybe you've been seeking something that you don't actually want. Maybe you've been chasing this idea of something that you don't want. You don't want that life. Or maybe it'll show you the opposite. I did this exercise, okay? And I sat there and I wrote down discipline and this and that, and I noticed like, oh my God, I'm not doing a lot of the things that I expect the person that I'm with to do. I'm like very disciplined, very this, very that. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing that's very disciplined? I mean, I am doing a lot of stuff, but like it wasn't at the level that I wanted. So I was like, you know what? This is a big sign for me that there are certain things that I need to implement in my life. If you're still not convinced on all the facts that I'm laying out, let me explain it this other way. So the way that it works is not that you implement these things, you raise your standards, you start treating yourself with the respect and the love and the care that you deserve, and then these people start popping up. What changes is one, and this might be controversial, but it's the side of people that you bring out, because I do truly believe that different people can bring out different sides to people. And if you have a high standard and someone wants to be with you enough, they will work at themselves to be a better person for you. That's like the biggest secret to relationships, and you will do the same. Like, that is when a relationship is good, is when your standard for yourself gets higher. Your partner makes you want to be a better person. Also, you start noticing the things that you care about, you start noticing the things that you want, and when they come, you are able to accept them. Now, I swear to God that this is a thing. If you are not somebody that can accept help, you are not going to attract a man who is going to want to help you, even if that's your fantasy. And I was talking to a friend of mine who love her, but she complains a lot about men. And I remember telling her, like, she was complaining about, why can't I just find a guy who can do this and who can do that? Like, a guy who does this for me and does that for me. And I was like, okay, I'm going to ask you this very seriously. If some guy came and said, let me do this for you, would you let him? And she was like, no. I'd be embarrassed. I'd be like, I can do it. And I was like, exactly. It's not that these men start popping out of nowhere all of a sudden when you change your standards for yourself. It's that you can start accepting that kind of treatment from people, whereas before you wouldn't have. When you treat yourself in the way that you want to be treated by others, you are priming yourself to accept that when somebody else is ready to give it to you. And this also makes sure that you're not dependent, and it makes sure that all these things that this person can do are also just a bonus. You're not going to be with a man because he buys you flowers every week, but it can be a fun bonus that makes you really happy and grateful that he buys you flowers every week. If I'm buying myself flowers all the time, when someone else buys it for me, I'm going to be like, oh my God, that's so sweet. Thank you. I'm not going to be like, oh my God, if you didn't do this for me, I don't know what I would do. No one else has ever done this for me. No, none of that desperate shit. No. When I get taken out to dinner, such a pleasant and fun experience. I'm super grateful. I have so much fun. I love that we do that kind of stuff, but I'm not like, holy shit, if I didn't go out with him, I would never have dinner. If you can't do it for yourself, it is easier for you to develop a dependency, and it is easier for you to have an imbalanced power dynamic in the relationship, and it is easier for you to accept behaviors that are lower than your standard just to get that thing that you really need. And that's why I recommend that you manage to get all the things that you need and want for yourself, because then when you and the other person do them for each other, it is just out of love and fun. And the main thing that you are going to enjoy when he buys you flowers, when he takes you out to dinner, when he takes you on a trip, it's not the fact that you're going on the trip, it's the fact that you're going on the trip with him. It's the fact that he bought you flowers. It's the fact that you're out to dinner hanging out with him. That should be the basis of your decision. If you are chasing something that you need or want so desperately, you're going to take less into consideration the person themselves that is doing that thing for you. But if you're already able to do all of those things for yourself, the main thing that you get to focus on, the main thing that you get to pick based on is the person, because you're not out looking for somebody solely to get you stuff, because you know that you can get those stuff yourself. And when you're operating at that level, those things naturally come. You naturally attract people like that. If you're with someone that you love and loves you so much, and they see that those are the things that makes you happy, they're going to just want to make you happy in that way. He's going to observe what you like to do, and he's going to do that thing with you. And you're gonna, I'm sure, want to do those things for him as well. By raising your standards and by treating yourself with utmost kindness, respect, dignity, you are giving yourself the freedom to pick your person or your people based on the people themselves. And then when you do find this quote unquote perfect person, because like nobody's perfect, but when you do find those things that you really crave and want in a relationship, you're going to be able to accept whatever this person has to offer. And if you're not used to doing it for yourself in the first place, there's a big chance you're not going to know how to handle all the things that that person can give you. And there's a big chance of there being a power imbalance, or for you being there for the wrong reasons, for that person being there for the wrong reasons. If you can already provide all the things that you want for yourself, everything is an extra, and that makes it a million times more fun and loving and gives you so much more independence and gives you so much more autonomy over who you want to be with. It gives you clarity of like who you're picking and based on what. Makes everything clear and open because you don't have any like needs that are blinding you. And then it's fun because you're not dependent and you're not always thinking, oh my God, what if he leaves me? What if he does this? What if he does that? What if I don't have him? What if this? What if that? You know that you're good on your own. So being in a relationship, it's like fun. It's extra. You're not dependent. You get to be comfortable in the relationship. And when you do that, you also have a comfortable mindset and you're not putting pressure on the relationship because it's also exhausting for somebody to keep hearing you, don't do this, don't do that. Where are you? What are you doing? Right? I don't want to hear that. I don't want to do that to anyone. Don't put yourself in that situation because then you'll also sabotage whatever good thing you have. So it's extremely important that you're used to this kind of treatment, that you're used to feeling good in yourself so that you're not sabotaging something good. And just all in all, you're going to be so much more pleasant as a person if you're not in need of something all the time, if you're not nagging someone all the time for things, if you are happy and comfortable and satisfied in yourself, you're just not an annoying person to be around, and you owe it to yourself to do that. All this to say, if you can't accept help from people, you are not going to attract people who want to help you. If you can't give yourself self-care and self-love, you are not going to attract people who want to give you care and love. If you don't work on being the best version of yourself that you can possibly be, you are not going to attract people who are working on themselves to be the best version that they could possibly be. You decide on who you attract based on how you treat yourself. Listen, it's easy to blame others, but that's going to get old, boring, and exhausting very quick. And while it may be harder to look inward, the rewards that come with it are endless. So take yourself seriously. Give yourself love. Call to action. Decide what the perfect person for you is like. Create this person in your head. Write a list of all the characteristics, hobbies, habits that this person has, and then become that person. And watch how your standard for the people around you changes majorly. Okay, I think that's enough yapping for the day. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was so fun to film. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you agree with, what you disagree with, what you would like to hear more about. I'd love to have a conversation in the comments. Send this to someone who maybe needs their standards raised a little bit. Also, I just want to say that I love and appreciate you if you're watching this right now, because by doing this today, you've taken one step to bettering yourself, to taking better care of yourself, to being a better version of yourself. And that's hard, and you did it. You've made time for yourself today. So I'm proud of you. I love you so much. Thank you for watching. Bye.